I don't know if my internet connection will be fine this time because it hasn't been great. Um, I think the biggest problem is my phone. There isn't enough space on the network. It turns out it's not the network. It's because there's not enough space on the phone. I actually forgot to actually clear up space before actually going live, but um, I'll deal with that once I'm done here. So I'm going to do the final breakdowns and predictions for the upsets. Predictions will be done on. I think I'll do the upsets predictions on Saturday, right? Um, for now, I'll just do these breakdowns and take it from there. So let me get started. Cod McGee versus Tim Means. My subscribers and I went with Tim Means. I think Team Means on the feet. I feel like the fight will be significantly close. I think Team Means is a bit better offensively. He is a little bit more accurate. He throws a little bit more volume, while Cod McGee is a little bit better defensively. He's very difficult to hit. Right, and then when the fight goes to the ground, it's going to be a little bit more tricky for Tim Means because I feel like that's where Cot McGee will have some level of an advantage, um, which is going to be problematic because I think Cot McGee trains at altitude at Salt Lake City or something like that. So I think that's going to play into his advantage. So on the feed, I think it's going to be close. On the ground, I could see Cot McGee actually dominating this particular at altitude is very worrying to me. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But my subscribers and I went with Tim Means. I'm a little bit worried after watching my picks, or rather after watching the research that I did. But I'm sticking with it. Carla Esparza versus Tisha Pennington. I went with Carla Esparza. Um, I went with Carla Esparza. Although on the feet, I do agree that Tisha Pennington will probably have some level of an advantage. I think she's offensively good and defensively. Um, yeah, I think she'll probably have the advantage on the feet. I think she has a little bit of power, not much, but if there's anyone who's going to wobble anyone, it's probably going to be Tisha Pennington. However, I feel like what do you call her? Carla Esparza is very good at avoiding getting hit. I think it's going to be really challenging for Tisha Pennington to actually consistently land, and I think it's going to open up opportunities for Carla Esparza to actually take the fight to the ground and I think control her there. Yo, Tweezy, how are you, man? uh, so I think on the feet, Tisha Pennington will have the advantage. On the ground, I'm leaning more towards Carla Esparza. On top of the fact that Carla Esparza, people forget that she's a two-time strawweight champion, right? Women's strawweight champion. So even though she's not like elite, but nonetheless, she managed to get the belt to Rose Namajunas. For her to have the ability to actually do that or scare Rose enough to actually make her not engage as much as she was supposed to, I mean, that's a win in my opinion. How did your Paris picks go? I've heard I might be Tisha last fight. My last picks, my subscribers did significantly well. Not I got 8 fights correct. My subscribers got 11 fights correct. So it didn't go that well. But I feel like there were a couple of odd decisions. Not horrible, but I feel like people like Joandas and Brito should have won that particular fight. But it's a conversation for another day. But my subscribers did significantly well, which normally I'm the one who actually gets more fights correct, but this time my subscribers did really well. But yeah, I'm sticking with Carla Esparza. I feel like she's had a lot of high level experience. I feel like she's going to have um, obviously the grappling advantage. On the feet, I don't think it's going to be easy to hit her. And it's women's MMA. It's not like anyone is going to get a one punch knockout. So because of that, I'm going with Carla Esparza. So yeah, but it's women's MMA, so you never know what happens. But I think I'm going to go with Carla Esparza. I think Esparza as well. Tweezy, thank you, man. I thought I was alone on that one. It's interesting to see this fight. Like I've broken down this fight so many times. I'm getting tired of doing it. They should just decide if they want to fight or not. Ovin St. Preux. I think Ovin St. Preux in this particular fight is probably the better fighter. My biggest problem is the fact that he's old. Like I think it's like 41 years old. For the sport, that's like being 100 years old. So, irrespective of the fact that I feel like he's the better fighter, um, but this is the same thing I said about Valentina Shevchenko. You know, when I was breaking down Shevchenko, my argument was that I felt like Valentina Shevchenko was the better fighter, but it was difficult for me to actually pick her because I felt like she was too old and her performance was declining. So I don't know about this one, man. But I'm sticking with Reinspan. I think he has the power um, and the volume, I guess, to find a way to actually land something solid. And Ovin St. Preux is not as fast as he used to be. He won't be able to take punches as much as he used to. So it might be a little bit tricky for him. But, I mean, it's Ryan Span versus Ovin St. Preux. So what are you doing putting money on the fight? Um, Wonder Boy is 100 years old. Wonder Boy is 100 years old. Yeah, man. But Wonder Boy is one of those special cases. I think he's like, even Bilal. Bilal is like 37 years old. But man, the dude just won a championship. He proved us all wrong. I feel like Alex Pereira might be one of those few exceptions. Like Wonder Boy, he might be able to perform at a high level. Plus, he's training with Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira won the belt, I think, at like 42, 43, somewhere there. So you never know what will happen. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. When was the last time you went to prison? I was streaming from prison. This guy is asking me if I'm streaming from prison. Why would you assume that? Why would you even ask that question? Anyway, Cesar Almeida versus. By the way, I've never been to prison. I guess maybe you feel like because I'm black, I should somehow be in prison. Uh, Sucks to be you though. Anyway, Cesar Almeida versus Iho Potieria. Um, um, I went with Iho Potieria, man. In all honesty, Potieria on the feed. In all honesty, I know it's going to sound crazy, but I think Potieria has a shot on the feed. Cesar Almeida, my subscribers went with Cesar Almeida. I went with Iho Potieria. I think Cesar Almeida is good, but number one, Iho Potieria has the experience in the UFC. Number two, Iho has the power to actually knock you out. Number three, he has the reach, so he can land from a distance and avoid getting hit. I know he hasn't been performing well recently, but I don't know, man. I feel like Iho has a shot, man. I think Iho Potieria has a shot. Um, anyway, Uh, I need to clear up space. This dude just asking stupid questions in the comment section. Anyway, let me proceed. Khalil on to. Okay. So yeah, I'm going with Iho Potieria because I feel like he is the on the feed. Obviously, Cesar Almeida is a little bit more accurate. I don't know, man. Now for me on the feed, I feel like the fight will be closely matched. Maybe I could be wrong, but also Cesar Almeida is like 36 years old. He's not going to be performing at the highest level of his skill or career. I know a lot of people say he's training with Alex Pereira. He still lost his last fight, even though he was training with Alex Pereira. So there's a dude who came onto the contender series. I forgot his name. He is, according apparently, he's the main training partner of Alex Pereira, and he performed horribly. And I think that was the second time he came to the contender series. So just training with the champion doesn't mean you become the champion. Anyway, there are a lot of heavyweights that train with John Jones, and they are horrible fighters. So, but yeah, I'm sticking with Iho Potieria. My subscribers went with Cesar Almeida. On to the next one. Austin Harbord versus Alexander Hernandez. My subscribers and I went with Alexander Hernandez. Um, this is going to be a very tricky one. Reach. Hernandez has the power. Um, on the other hand, Hubbard is going to probably be the better striker on the feet. I think he has both accuracy and defense on his side. Uh, Iho is a layup fight for Cesar. I memean, Iho is still young enough to improve. That's what people are not realizing. For me personally, I like to pick younger fighters, not because the person who's probably going to be trying to improve is the guy who still has the ability or possibilities of becoming a champion at some point in their careers. Maybe champion, but he still lost his last fight. You know, and he's 36 years old. You know, it's not like he's going to be performing at his peak. I hear that people are saying it's a layup. Maybe it is a layup, but I'm not willing to sit here and say that Almeida is going to run through Iho Potieria. I'll wait to be proven wrong. I'm sticking with Iho Potieria. I disagree with the fact that he's a layup. Um, I think Iho might shock a lot of people. Anyway, Austin Harbord will probably be a little bit better on the feet. I think Alexander Hernandez. mm, This is gonna be tricky. I think, in all honesty, Austin Harbord is. Woo, Austin Harbord is probably the better fighter here. I don't wanna lie. Um, yeah, this is one of those fights I might potentially get wrong because I feel like Austin Harbord is a better fighter to some extent, but there are a couple of elements that make me feel like Hernandez is going to be able to win this fight. For example, the volume. He throws a little bit more. He has power. He has reach. There are a couple of elements that make me feel like Hernandez is going to win, and that's why I picked him. My subscribers also picked him, which makes me feel a little bit better about my pick. Because this one is a little bit tricky. But I feel like Hernandez, I mean, Hubbard, let me see, 2, 4, 6. Hubbard might be the better fighter here. Yeah, this is one of those fights that I might potentially get wrong. Um, anyway, on to the next one. Marina Rodriguez versus Yasmin Losindo. My subscribers went with Marina. I went with Yasmin Lucindo. Here's another one. On the feed, I don't feel like Marina Rodriguez is going to outclass Yasmin Lucindo. It seems like a lot of people feel that way. They feel like Marina Rodriguez is going to be outclassing Yasmin Lucindo, and Yasmin Lucindo has been proving a lot of people wrong, including me. In the beginning, I was like, nah, she's not good enough, but she's been constantly improving in every single fight. She's been winning fights that I didn't think she should be winning. And I don't know. I feel like she's going to be a little bit stronger. I think on the feet it's going to be evenly matched. Rodriguez will have the power. Rodriguez will have the volume and accuracy on the feet. I feel like Lucindo will have the defense. She'll be very good defensively on the feet. On the ground, Lucindo is going to dominate that fight. And I think it's going to get to the ground largely because I think it's going to be close enough on the feet, and the difference makers will be the takedowns, it will be the controls. I wouldn't even be surprised if Yasmin Lucindo actually submits Rodriguez. On top of all these things, even if Rodriguez was like 34 or 33, I still would have gone with Yasmin Lucindo, largely because I feel like on the feed, it's an evenly matched fight. On the ground, Lucindo will dominate that fight. But on top of that fact, Yasmin, what do you call it? Marina Rodriguez is like 30, 37, 38. That's not good in MMA years. And on top of that, it's WMMA. So once you get to that age, very few fighters can still perform at a high level. So I don't know what a lot of people are seeing in Marina Rodriguez. I don't think she's going to win this fight. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. On to the next one. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley. My subscribers and I went with Joaquin Buckley. Um, I'm sorry to say this. I know a lot of people love Wonderboy, but Wonderboy is going to lose, man. Um, it's surprising, especially because he's the shorter fighter in this particular instance. It's crazy. He has deceptively long arms. I'm surprised to see that he's actually has the reach advantage in terms of striking. So yeah, let me go in depth a little bit. Why do I think Joaquin Buckley is going to win this one? Wonder Boy is good in terms of like his accuracy, striking accuracy is very good. I think Joaquin Buckley is a little bit not extremely better in terms of defense, but he's defensively sound and he throws a lot of volume. Um, um, and then on the ground, I've heard a lot of people saying Shavkat Rachmanov was struggling with Wonderboy Thompson, so Joaquin Buckley is not Shavkat Rachmanov. The problem with Shafkat, right? I think Shafkat is one of those fighters who are well rounded and who can mix up everything really well, but he's not really good at one specific thing, right? So I don't know, man. Or maybe something was off because he looked off. I think I said this to someone in the comment section. Even Dana White after that fight, he was like he was a bit confused with how Shafkat was fighting in that particular fight. And then after he got the finish, Dana White was like, okay, okay, I guess maybe I was wrong. He has this way of doing things. But I felt that way. I felt like something was wrong. It felt like he was afraid of standing and striking. He was almost desperate to get the fight to the ground, which is not usual. But I guess maybe it shows the level of respect that Shafkat came into the fight with for Wonderboy. I think Shafkat was mainly working on his grappling for this particular fight. So that's why he looked awkward in that particular fight. That's why he looked desperate. I think a lot of people forget that camps, when someone is preparing for someone, they can eliminate a specific part of their skills and focus on one aspect of their skill. And clearly, it seems like Shafkat's camp in that particular fight was mainly focusing on um, actually grappling and getting the fight to the ground. I mean, his takedown entries were not that great, but I think comparing it to Joaquin Buckley, in my opinion, number one, Joaquin Buckley throws a lot more than Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think he's a little bit stronger than Shavkat Rakhmonov. I wouldn't say he's more talented. I mean, in terms of grappling, I feel like Shavkat Rakhmonov, technically, Shavkat is better, but I feel like Joaquin Buckley is a little bit more relentless. I would compare Joaquin Buckley to Bilal Mohammed in terms of takedown. He's going to shoot again up until he gets it. People are still mentioning Joaquin Buckley's losses in the past. He lost to Kevin Holland, of course, but how many people has he lost to since he came to welterweight? I don't think he's ever lost. I think he's undefeated at welterweight, if I'm not mistaken. If he lost, then it must be to one person. But I can't remember Joaquin Buckley actually losing at welterweight. So technically, Joaquin Buckley is undefeated at welterweight. I think so. I think Joaquin Buckley is undefeated at welterweight, which is something a lot of people are not taking into consideration. Joaquin Buckley was undersized at middleweight. So it makes sense, and I've been saying this for a long time. The same thing, I've been saying the same thing with Calvin Gastelum. He was fighting at the wrong weight. Can make lightweight, but I think that he's probably not going to do that. But I think Joaquin Buckley was undersized at middleweight, and he's found the division that works for him, and that's why I think he's undefeated. I can't remember weight. I feel like we only see Buckley hold someone down in his last fight against Ruziboyev. And even the Ruziboyev win, man, I think the Ruziboyev win was really, really good. Um, Considering the fact that Ruziboyev was taller, Ruziboyev is a really decent grappler. He has power. Like, there are so many points I started believing in Joaquin Buckley and how far he can go. The win over Ruziboyev convinced me that he can actually get into the top five. I mean, Colby Covington is in the top five. I don't know if he's still there, but if Colby Covington is in the top five, I mean, Joaquin Buckley can actually make it into the top five. 41 years old, on top of everything I just said. Um, I could be wrong, but normally when I'm wrong, it's a questionable decision lost. It's hardly ever. Obviously, there are times whereby I'm wrong and it's a knockout loss or it's a submission loss, but those do not happen often. Normally, when I get it wrong that I feel confident about is because there was a decision, except the Valentina Shevchenko fight, but Valentina was not doing that much even. In any case, I don't think I'm wrong. Wonderboy is going to lose this fight. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Roman Dolite versus Kevin Holland. My subscribers and I went with Kevin Holland. Who do I think is going to win? Obviously, on the ground, it's going to be Roman Dolite. On the feet, it's going to be Kevin Holland. I picked Kevin Holland because I feel like Roman Dolite is horrible when it comes to takedowns. He likes to strike and he doesn't know how to strike. He beat Anthony Smith because Anthony Smith is Anthony Smith. I mean, like, so I don't feel like at this stage in his career. So on the other hand, Kevin Holland has a very low fight IQ, so he might make stupid decisions that he shouldn't be making. But I think Kevin Holland was was. Twizy, why are you laughing? I think Kevin Holland was embarrassed by how he lost to Michael Venom Page, and I think because of that we might see a more focused Kevin Holland. I to come back improved and all these type of things, but I think he was humiliated, and I think he's going to try and improve. But I don't like the fact that he openly called himself a gatekeeper. Picking Kevin Holland is a risk. Even a fight that he should win, he might lose. I think Kevin Holland should win this fight, and people are trashing him for the performance against Michal Oleksiejczuk. And I don't know why, because even when I was assessing the fight, I was like, Michal Oleksiejczuk actually has a shot at winning this fight. I was very worried. I'm not as worried in this particular fight. Dolidze is old. Dolidze cannot strike. Dolidze has horror. He can't get the fight to the ground unless somehow Kevin Holland stumbles and falls. I don't think he's going to lose. And also, Kevin Holland is a company man, so the UFC is probably, I don't think they are giving him this fight because they think it's a difficult matchup for him. So I'm going with Kevin Holland. My subscribers are going with Kevin Holland. Tweezy Reach, Anthony is Anthony Smith. Yeah, I mean Anthony is Anthony Smith, man. Like there's nothing impressive about beating him, especially at the stage of his career. Kevin Holland as a favorite is always a risky game. Yeah, I fully agree. Like you have to know going in that Kevin Holland might come with the intention to lose. I mean, I don't know what's happening with that guy. I think him and Michael Chandler should fight for who, for IQ points. They make horrible decisions, and they are far more talented than the decisions that they make in fights. Um, I'm not betting this fight. LOL. I hear you, Tizzy. Holland always hard to trust, and Dolita sucks. Yeah, so it's difficult. I agree with that. Anyway, on to the next one. Caitlin Vieira versus Kayla Harrison. And this is going to be an assault, guys. Like, it's not going to even be a fight. I don't think I should even mention, okay, for the sake of accuracy. My subscribers and I went with Kayla Harrison. And this is going to be an assault. Like, I don't feel like it's going to be a fight. Caitlin Vieira is old. Have you seen Kayla Harrison's arms, guys? Like, they're bigger than mine. Probably bigger than mine combined. Caitlin Vieira is going to get assaulted, guys. Like, you're acting like Vieira is in a log of this. Tizzy Rich, you're acting like Vieira is in log of the. um, Sven, how are you, man? I haven't seen you in the comments in a very long time. Where have you been? I think Miss Man from Scary Movie gets the decision. Will the fight go to a decision? Sven, it's hard to say. I don't want to disrespect Vieira. I think Vieira is a decently talented fighter. Even though we all know it's a layup, I think Vieira might put up a fight. But man, have you seen those arms look like a dude on steroids? Like I'm not saying she's a dude or anything like that. I'm just saying the arms on her. Like normally I see that on a dude on steroids, right? So it's hard for me to imagine this fight going to a decision, to be honest. I feel like it's probably going to be in the second round out of respect for Vieira because I feel like Vieira might put on some level of a fight, decently good enough to get out of the first round. Maybe. I don't think she's a complete scrub, but she's older now, so maybe that might play into her maybe being finished a little bit early. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it gets past the second round. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends in the first round. Tweezy Rich, I think Vieira will have her, well, will stuff her takedowns for a little bit early. Then she can't anymore and guesses. Yeah, that's how I think the fight is going to play out. Vieira might defend a couple of takedowns, maybe keep it on the feet a little bit, and maybe touch her there and there. And then Harrison is going to be relentless. And then it will be a dominant round, the first round maybe for Harrison. Vieira will probably be tired going to the second round, and I think maybe that's where the fight will end. But I'm not sure. It's hard to say because Vieira is not that bad. But I think even if she was younger, she was gonna get dominated. I don't agree with what I just said. In all honesty, based on my research, Kayla Harrison is probably going to dominate her and finish her in the first round. Unfortunately, it looks like that. Um, but I guess we'll just have to see. I mean, her first fight in the UFC was against an old Holly Holm. I mean, it's still Holly Holm, but she was old. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Tweezy Rich, I think Vieira. I think Harrison wins, but I do think she'll look better than Holm did. Yeah, I also agree with that. I think Kayla decision. Yeah, Tweezy, you are one of the people who voted decision, right? Because my subscribers predicted that this fight will go to a decision. Go to the video section of the channel. There are predictions for how each fight is going to end. Whether it's going to be a decision, round one, round two, round three, round four, or five. So you can go through that and watch what the subscribers think. So yeah. Anyway, obviously my subscribers and I picked Kayla Harrison. On to the next one: Jose Aldo versus Mario Bautista. My subscribers and I went with Jose Aldo. I've been trashing older fighters, and here I am picking Jose Aldo to win a fight. I'm torn, man. I'm really torn. Um, Jose Aldo looked faster against a younger prospect who is primarily a striker. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's primarily a striker. I was like, dude looks like he's on something, man. You can't be that fast and that strong at 38. But probably he's doing something right. Jose Aldo went out and boxed, so his striking abilities will be a lot more elevated. Um, and I think he's still good enough to defend some takedowns. So whew, I'm worried though. A part of me wanted to pick Mario Bautista. I don't feel like it's going to be a domination of any kind, right? Maybe it is going to be, but I feel like it's going to be a close fight, in my opinion. That's one of the reasons why I said the Jose Aldo pick is 100% risky because I'm honestly worried about this particular pick. But in any case, I'm going with Jose Aldo. My subscribers and I are going with Jose Aldo. Let me try and finish up. My battery is about to run out. Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena. My subscribers went with Juliana Pena, went with Raquel Pennington. This is going to be a little bit closer. Not a little bit closer. I think this is one of those coin flips. It's hard for me to say who will have the advantage because on the feed, I feel like Raquel Pennington will have some level of an advantage. On the ground, I think Juliana Pena will have the advantage. So it's really difficult to actually say who wins, to be honest. I sided with the champion with the experience. And I know Juliana Pena looked decent against Amanda Nunes, but she's been off for a while. I don't know, man. I don't feel comfortable picking Juliana Pena. I don't also feel comfortable picking Raquel Pennington, but it is what it is. These are the options that we have. So I'm going with Raquel Pennington. I guess we'll just have to wait and see if I'm right or wrong. On to the next one: Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree Jr. My subscribers and I went with Alex Pereira. This should be a domination, right? Um, this should be a domination. Oh, Tweezy, why are you saying round four sub? Is Alex Pereira going to submit him with a left hook? Alex Pereira submits him with a left hook. Anyway, everyone is on Aldo as a dog, but I like him too. To be honest, he's only lost to elite competition. Yeah, I agree, man. Let's go Rocky Road. Round four submission. Yeah, man. I think Alex Pereira is a little bit, not a little bit better, significantly better everywhere. Um, I mean, for Raquel fight. Oh, I thought maybe you were saying that Alex Pereira is going to submit him with a left hook. Tap two strikes. Okay. So yeah, I think Alex Pereira is significantly better everywhere. But when we compare power, Khalil Roundtree has the power advantage in this particular fight, in my opinion. Obviously, with technique and the speed, what makes him a great fighter. But when we talk about who, out of a lot of people that Alex Pereira has fought, right? I think Khalil Roundtree is one of the few fighters landing a fluke, uh, who have a shot at landing a fluke punch that might knock out Alex Pereira, right? My official pick is Alex Pereira. I believe Alex Pereira is better everywhere, wherever the fight goes. But I will say this: out of everyone, even Jamal Hill, I think Khalil Roundtree has the power to land a fluke shot. And if he does, he's going to put Alex Pereira out. Alex Pereira is also not as young as he used to be. 37 is old for a champion. He achieved beyond what we expected. I'm sticking with Alex Pereira. I'm just saying, out of everyone he has fought so far, Roundtree has the power to get a fluke win. Right? He has the ability to actually land something that might out cold, but I feel like it might wobble him enough to get him in trouble, and round three might be able to find a way to finish it. Twizy Rich, I agree. Halil has the highest chance to get a KO shot than Hill and Jiri. Yeah, that's something I think a lot of people are overlooking, and that's what did the same thing with the Kamaru Usman. Um, a lot of people are saying Kamaru Usman is never going to lose, and then boom, headshot, right? And like I said, I'm picking Alex Pereira. I'm not changing my pick. I'm just saying, out of Roundtree has the skills to land a fluke power shot, and he's going to knock him out if that happens. Um, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I'll see you guys on Friday. Let me go charge my phone. See you in the comment section. I love and appreciate all of you. Deuces.